Love is it's magic. And I know that sounds incredibly like corny to start off this one with, but I just I genuinely can't find something more worthwhile to talk about. I don't know. On the day I'm recording this, it's actually my birthday, so I'm feeling a bit happy right now, and this is the first thing that came in my head. Just love is magic, because a lot of the times, especially nowadays, a lot of people don't really believe that love is true anymore. And for me personally, as someone who loves love and loves to love, that sounds so stupid. Uh, I find that so disheartening that people don't really believe in love anymore. And now, of course, that's not going to apply to everybody, but seeing that being said more and more gets me kind of down because I just can't see it. I look at people and think if I loved that person, I'd be totally okay with that because, I mean, I don't know. Love really just does feel like it's an entirely otherworldly feeling. Something that I feel like even we can't really begin to comprehend. So I'm gonna try. I'll try my best to at least give my perspective on it. And that the first thing is love is a lot purer, purer. Love is a lot purer than you think. And I know that can be kind of hard to believe when you see like real world examples, and I have to tell you, it's genuinely true. I mean, think about someone who experiences love, genuinely experience it, and think of the face they make. That genuine, almost childlike sense of wonder and happiness. It's that's pure. That's purity. Just because like imagine how giddy you have to be, even if you're a fully grown adult, to really just start getting excited, getting giddy, like unable to hold back your smile. Is that not by definition what it's like to have the pure heart of a child? You just feel uh I'll say it just feels yes. It just feels yes. And a lot of the times people will say, well, there are a lot of examples where love isn't pure. And I have to say, is that love? Because I beg to differ. If love isn't pure, I'm not saying that that isn't love, but I'm saying maybe you haven't delved deep into it yet. A lot of the times, I feel like people forget, since it's become such a normal thing to think about and sort of expect from people, love is an emotion. And just as easily as any other emotion, it can be swayed. But unlike the others, it's not easily quelled, I'll say. It doesn't go easy. And it's possible to love anyone. You can love anything and anyone. That's absolutely possible. And I just, when you, let me actually compose my thoughts. When you really find a true love, it doesn't just stay as an emotion, it becomes something way more. Like, even if you had clear boundaries about yourself that, oh, or I'll never do this, or like besetting like your own pride because, oh, I can never do this, that's so embarrassing. You find yourself doing those things because you think to yourself, this is going to make that person happy. And that really does just transcend both mental and emotional logic that doesn't track, because love is just holding something of such high importance that you put it ahead of yourself, more than your own comfort, more than anything else, because that's just what makes you happy. That person that you're sharing that feeling with, you want them to be happy, and even if it takes so much effort and so much work and so much tolerance, you do it because you really want to see them be happy. because that's where you get your happiness from. And it's true that love is a very complex emotion, but it's something that isn't really, you can't really put a quantity on it. You can't quantify it. It's just sort of there, and it looks different for everyone. I mean, I'm sure everyone's, or most people, I don't want to speak for anyone that I can't directly speak to, but I'm sure most people have heard of the love languages, physical touch, words of affirmation, um, gift giving, um, quality time, and I always forget the last one. Um, I always forget the last one. Acts of service, that's the last one. Pardon me. Um, it's just those actions that sort of define love. You don't really think about it. And not in the sense that, oh, you never really wonder why people do that. Even when you're doing it, you're not thinking about it. You're just sort of doing. It's sort of one of those things that you have to look back at and think, man, did I really do all that? I guess that's just how I like making my person happy. That's just what I do. And everyone's different. Some people will have some but not others. There are some people that are going to have all, and some people that are only going to have one, and some people that'll just have none. The people that don't express love because they don't need to. And I'll touch on that in a different one, but the point is it's so radically different from person to person that sometimes I think we forget that it's something that we can't really just put a number on and say, and we're done. It looks different for everyone, but all the same, it makes you feel that sense of joy. Just, I don't know how to explain it. I can imagine how it feels clearly. It feels wonderful. Um, but you can't really explain it. You just feel giddy, happy, like really happy, happier than you've ever been. And there's no real explanation for it because it's just how you feel. That's your love expressing itself. It's escaping, I'll say. Not really expressing. It's escaping. It's escaping. And when you have it, you realize that even the things that you found were really hard to do, you do now. That's just, there's no question about it. I think that's a good explanation of what it feels like. You don't question it anymore. You don't really say how far is too far or what do I do to maintain or increase my love. It just sort of happens. You don't have to think about it. Because one way or another, it's going to be expressed, and eventually you'll find someone who both appreciates and values the way that you express it. It's sort of like a superpower. I know I said magic earlier, but you really do just do anything in order to fulfill your love. And there are some extreme examples that I'm not going to mention, but it really just goes to show how far people will go to have that feeling because it just feels that good. It's almost it's almost like an addiction, which sounds terrible, but mm, is that not the case? There are some people who do crazy things for love, like things that you wouldn't even have thought of because they just don't occur to you. And a lot of people will question, how could they do such a thing? How could they do this, this, and that? And while it doesn't excuse the actions that were done, once you feel love, you sort of start to piece it together and like, yeah, no, I 100% get why they did that. Am I going to do that? No. But do I get it? Absolutely. Because that universal feeling that a lot of us share can be easily understood by our hearts, just not by our minds. It really just turns into a pure magical form, or this intangible, this intangible force that we all feel becomes something tangible because that's just how strong that feeling is. There's no real way to explain it, but it's one of the greatest feelings I think that can ever be felt in this world. And I know that sounds really, 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 really extra, but that's just, I can't imagine a world where that isn't true. That's just how it goes. We feel love, and when we feel love, we do anything to keep it. We do anything to nurture it, anything to maintain it. And sometimes that turns into a bad thing, but I also think it's reason enough to keep chasing after it. Not the bad things, but just the fact that there are so many of us here, and a lot of us can experience this feeling. I feel like that's reason enough to keep trying for it. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I'll admit, I had a good explanation for it when I hit record, but that gosh darn feeling, I lost it immediately when I started thinking about it. Just that feeling, it really does make you just illogical. There's nothing that makes sense about it other than the fact that it makes sense, which doesn't make sense. It's paradoxical. Nothing about it should work, but we all work to maintain it and keep it. It has no explicit value to us as a species. We don't need to love, but we do. And it feels great. It really does. I don't know how else to explain it. Love is magic, real magic, because it's that one singular feeling that we can all feel that makes us feel like we can do anything. And I know I said feel a lot in this audio and in that statement, but when you have love in your life, you have magic. Because you'll find yourself doing impossible tasks. You find yourself doing things you never thought you would ever do, consciously or no. You find yourself in scenarios that you never even pictured for yourself. It makes you, well, yeah, it makes you crazy, but not necessarily always a bad kind. A good kind of crazy. It makes you the kind of crazy that will help people, because there's also more than one type of love. I like to believe that I hold love for all people. I don't think I've ever hated a person in my life. It's just so fun to love. I love loving. I always find myself trying to make people happy because seeing people smile is something that is intoxicating to me. I like to show that love to other people because it makes them happy. It's a hard feeling to explain, but when you know it, when you know it's there and you feel it, it's undeniable. You know for a fact. And I think that's something that's worth chasing after. Something that's worth protecting. Something that's worth, I don't want to say fighting for, but fighting to keep. Or just trying to maintain, I guess. I don't know. I don't like using fighting in a non-combative context. Or shoot, people fight over love. Who knows? But the point is, it's the kind of magic that's omniversal because it lets you do anything, even if you didn't think you could do it. And in that sense, love really is the truest, purest, realist, and omniversal version of magic. Love is magic. That's all I can really say about it.